This is Shelley Craft coming to you live on SNN Live. We're at the NIBA conference. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. I happen to have next to me Mr. Richard Schumacher of Pressure BioSciences, Inc., PBIO, a publicly traded company. Welcome to SNN Live.
Well, thank you, Shelley. Good to see you again.
It's good to have you. Let's just give an overview of the company before I go and ask you anything too specific about what I want to know.
Sure. Pressure BioSciences, we're a life science tools company. We make products that are based on a very novel, enabling, patented technology called pressure cycling technology. We actually are the only company in the world that we know of that has patents in the area of taking high pressure and turning pressure on and off. It has amazing qualities. Everything in nature has the ability to change under pressure. And if you can figure out what we call the pressure point and then put it in our instrument, you're going to be able to control what that sample does. And as a scientist in the bench, sitting on the lab bench, you want to be able to control how the molecules work. You want to be able to break open viruses and bacteria. You want to be able to make enzymes and hormones move differently and change differently. And we can do that using pressure.
You mean instead of crushing and mixing?
We all did that in high school, didn't we? In high school, we used mortar and pestle. And we took this little bowl and we put our leaf or our seed inside it and we ground it and we broke it up. And now they've gotten a lot better in the last few years. Now they take tiny little beads and they zap them 1,000 times a minute and generate tremendous heat and things that can do the job but also cause some problems. What we do is we take the samples, assume it's a bacteria or a virus, and we put it under pressure and then we cycle the pressure back and forth, and it has a very, very incredible way of breaking open that sample very quickly, very safely, and in a manner that gives you usually better results than beating it up with that jackhammer.
So that you're not destroying anything, you're just changing the molecular view of it for the camera. I mean, for the, in this case, microscope. For the mass spectrometer, whatever instrument. You know, there are about 80,000 laboratories around the world with about 500,000 researchers, and they're all studying pieces of hair and skin and tumor samples and cells and bacteria and viruses, and they need to open them up. And they're opening them up now using methods that can actually, as you just said, can actually destroy what they're trying to open it up. What we do is we don't destroy it. We open it up in a much better fashion than ever before. And in some cases, we get proteins out that have not been seen before because of the new method using pressure. So you're actually protecting the integrity of the sample.
In ways we can protect it. There were two papers two presentations last year that were presented by a scientist at the United States Army Military Research Institute for Infectious Disease. Say that 3 times fast, Shelley.
I can't. Yeah. Don't even test me.
Yes. But USAMRIID, it's one of the leading labs in the country studying things like anthrax. And this gentleman, Dr. Powell, presented 2 papers that said that they could inactivate anthrax, but leave it in a form that could be studied. Now, what's important about that is all the other methods that he's tried to kill anthrax could kill anthrax, but you can't study it because it's totally destroyed. In our method, using pressure, you can kill the anthrax. It leaves it in a form, so now you can use it to try to develop vaccines and therapeutics and diagnostics because you have the form still there, even though it's now dead.
That's a great example of how to use your product. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the website from Richard.
www.pressurebiosciences.com.
And what's your background?
I'm a scientist. I started Harvard Medical School. I was there for 13 years in an affiliated laboratory at Harvard doing research. And then I left because I got bit by the entrepreneurial bug. I started a company called Boston Biomedica, started my garage, and I grew it with the help of a lot of great people to over 300 people. We became the best in the world at what we did. I sold that company, broke it up, and I've now started a new company, Pressure BioSciences, which I'm very, very excited about because the potential is well, let's just call it exciting.
Let's call it exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Schumacher, Pressure BioSciences, Inc., publicly traded symbol PBIO. Thank you for coming on to SNN Live.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me.
You got it.